All right, everybody, we are live. We've lost two people.
I don't know where Elle went. Oh, there she is.
She's here.
She's here.
Oh, hello, everybody, and welcome to our live show discussion to talk all things Ninth House. This is our October book of the month. We're very excited to all be here today. Every single host is here today, which is a very
This
rare
never
thing
happens. I don't think this has ever happened.
Never.
No.
So there's always someone.
Watch us all turn out for Lee Bardugo. Tits
Hell
out,
yeah.
tits out for Bardugo.
Yes.
So yes, we're going to be talking about Ninth House today. We will start the live show with a bit of a spoiler-free section. We'll talk about our thoughts more generally, star ratings, and then we will give a little bit of a warning before we dive into all of the spoilers. But in the meantime, feel free to leave a comment. Sorry, I just went to the YouTube page and heard myself. That was confusing. Go and leave us your star ratings in the comments. Let us know what you thought. And I guess without further ado, let's jump in. What did we all think of it? What did we rate it?
Let's go in.
What's up with you?
I've been talking so long.
Yeah, you go.
I'll go last since I've been talking.
I guess I'll take it away. I think I read it like 2 months ago when Kaz sent it to me, and I really liked it. It took me a hot minute to get into it because it was just thrown straight in, and also like the Yale setting wasn't super familiar with. Like obviously colleges in America are very different to colleges here, and the whole experience. I'm not usually a huge fan of like necromancy and like ghost magic stuff, but I found within like a quarter of the way through I was fucking loving it. And I think the general consensus is we're all trash for a basic ass white boy haunted by a demon. I don't think I will find anyone who disagrees that we've all gravitated towards this precious cinnamon roll who we will protect with our lives.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really liked it. I didn't realize how keen I would be for a second book until I got to the end, and then I was like, oh shit. And I think my main question was just who is feeding the cat most of the time.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, he's cat.
Yeah.
He's feeding it. All right,
Jane, you're up.
Oh yeah, so like Pierre, I think I really struggled with the Yale and college stuff at the beginning, and it was about like 200 pages of it, and it felt like I was dropped into a Yale documentary, and I'm like, I have no idea what's going on.
Look, you're right, yeah.
Yeah, but after that, I felt like I got to know Alex a bit more as a character and how she's dealing with her PTSD and everything. And seeing how she interacts with Darlington and everything, I really like that. And I kind of expected more secret societies and more witchcraft and necromancy, but even though like there is that integrated into the story, I felt like the Yale terminology and everything really bogged it down. And so in the end, I really loved the ending, how, no spoilers, but I loved how everything went down there. And I gave it about a 3.5 only because of the beginning.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, fair enough.
Sophie.
It's fair.
So I ended up giving it 4 stars. I read it like the week before book club, so I wasn't really I didn't really let it sit for as long as I think I should have, or give myself enough time to take in, because like Jean, I was definitely bogged down in the beginning, and I was just trying to rush through it so I could get to the end so I could talk about it with you guys at book club and stuff. So I definitely missed some of the smaller, more integral details at the beginning because I was trying to comprehend the Yale stuff so much. Yeah. I think I had an easier time of it than Pierre and Jean because my copy had a map in it.
Yeah.
And theirs did not.
Yeah, because the proof wouldn't have the map.
Think about that.
Yeah, I really loved the map. The map was really handy.
I literally had no idea there was a map.
Made that huge difference.
Sorry, I'm just so distracted by that fucking cat, Els. I don't know about that cat. They're just straight at that cat.
I'm staged by a cat. That's life.
I probably need a new cat. No, I just need to get another one.
Another one?
You don't need more cats, Pierre.
You don't need more.
I'm a survivor. I deserve whatever I get. Nope, it's been a big week.
That's been a big week for you. Oh my god.
Oh, fuck me. All right, keep going, Rochelle.
Rochelle, you just.
But yeah, I think the main issue I really had with it is I wanted there to be more magic. For a book about magical societies, we didn't really see a lot of magic. Like, we saw 3 rituals and 2 of those were barely mentioned. It was just like, yeah, this is something that's happening to the side of everything else that's going on. And that's definitely like where I kind of fell off. I was just like, this is not what I was really expecting, and it's not delivering what I want.
Sophia.
Okay. I'm just going to go with my rating first. I gave it 4.5. I didn't actually finish it in time for book club, which is disappointing of me. It's okay.
You did a Kaz.
I know I did a Kaz and I didn't finish it. But I alternated between audio and physically reading it. And because I actually quite enjoyed audio a bit more than I did physically reading it. And I do agree with everyone saying that the beginning was slow and it did drag a bit. But once I've realized that it's going to be like a whole series, I was like, oh, well, that's fine. I don't mind it then. I really loved all the character interactions. I thought that they were great. And there's a lot of things that happen in it that I was really happy about, especially a lot of feminist stances that were taken in it. I really enjoyed. I do like occult fantasy. I've always really enjoyed that. So like the fact that I didn't mind the fact there wasn't a lot of magic. Like I didn't really mind it too much because I was really focused more on Alex and Darlington and what was happening in their worlds. So yeah, I really loved it. Lee Bardugo didn't let me down.
Bardukes.
Okay, Els, your turn.
I gave it a 4.5. Pretty sure the 0.5 of that is because I just have a general huge heart-on for academia. The setting was great.
Hard for academia. How did I know? I think I said in this book you and I would be like the complete opposite. Like it would be a wet dream for you, where I was like, ugh, school, gross.
What's different though, Piera?
I'm nothing if not on brand.
That happens a lot. Come on. I really loved it. I loved the layers of the characters. I loved the intense mutual pining between 2 specific characters that was very subtle and then very, very obvious.
Yeah.
I like everything about it.
Yeah.
Good book.
Yeah.
So
Good job, Lee Bardugo.
Good job, Lee. Good job, Lee.
Kudos.
I think I also rated it like a 4.5, maybe 4.75. The longer I sit,
4.7.
the more I want to reread it.
Not quite a 5, but ooh.
Yeah. I don't know. I also really enjoyed it. And I think, I can't remember what these tabs at the top mean, but I think it's how long it took me to, you can't even see it, how long it took me to read each day. And I've got 6 in the first half, and then I read this last half within a day. So again, like everyone else, it was really slow at the beginning, but I really enjoyed it. I just liked taking it slow and learning about all the secret societies. And I also discovered at the back of the finished copy, there's a little information about all
the
of
houses?
the houses,
Yeah.
which I didn't have when I was reading the arc for the first time, but I would have found this super useful, especially since you don't learn a lot about all 9 houses. So throughout the book, I was trying to find any detail I could or trying to piece information together that wasn't super clear sometimes. So there's like 3 of the houses that you don't know very much about at all. And I didn't write much about those because I was making my notes as I went. So, but I just really, really enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. I also really liked the interactions with the 2 characters going and flipping between the timelines. And I also would have liked to see a little bit more of the magic, but also really liked those feminist things. I think I marked out a few of them in tabs, and
yeah,
I was just going back and rereading some of the things I marked as favorite quotes. And one of them, I think it's Alex. She's like, "I'm a bad dancer and I don't floss. What's wrong with you?" I was like, "Girl, you're sassy." I love it. So yeah, really, really enjoyed it, and I do want to reread it. And the ending also made me very excited for a next book, and I didn't know it wasn't a standalone until I got to that last page.
Oh, did you think it was a standalone?
Well, I didn't think about it. I don't know. I just didn't question it.
I was the same. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I
you
got to the end and
adorable.
was just like,
Yeah.
what?
I was like, okay, there's a book 2 for sure. But yeah, I guess now that we've all discussed spoiler-free things, let's go into spoilery territory.
Spoiler time.
Yeah, so if you're watching, you haven't read the book, and you don't want to have all the details ruined, we'll see you next time. Come back. Bye now.
Bye.
And yeah, okay. Did we have any discussions? I missed the book meet, so I'm.
Yeah, you went there.
Monster.
We had a massive turnout for Sydney. It was insane.
Great.
I
didn't.
don't remember much. I remember being there. Because we had something new, and that was really great. But then I kept making references to old things, and she was so lost. Poor darling.
I think
This one was pretty small. I mean, most people were like busy with like uni or something like that, so we couldn't. Like most of our usuals were there, but I think the general consensus was that everyone was like 4.5 for most people really liked
me.
Except for you. Except for Jane.
Yeah, but I think
outlier.
Yeah, there you go. It's not an outlier. It's 3.5.
Which I think is like a pretty good overall average rating.
I think we were saying that this book was probably the most highly rated out of all the books we've done this year.
Yeah,
which is very was a masterpiece.
I
am gonna murder you.
What did you say?
And then I read Kingsgate and I was like, I'm gonna fucking kill
Did you read it?
Isn't it
so trashy? It's so good.
It is trash fire, and I wanted to die.
Choking her. He's like choking her while he fucks her over a crypt. I was like, that is so on brand. Sorry, it's a lot. It's really good.
A lot.
I'm glad
anyway,
so that's actually Born.
It's really good. You should finish it.
Let's talk about it.
No!
Don't listen to her. Don't
do it. I'm not gonna do it.
Don't do it.
No.
Fire dick. Fire dick. Fire dick.
All right. So back to
it's all Ninth House. Ninth House.
Yes.
Yeah. So what do we think? What Darlington is a gentleman demon.
He's
oh my god,
Darlington 2.0.
Yes.
When I first found myself like falling in love with him, I was like, why are my standards so low? Like, I think one of our girls at book club was like, he's well read and he's polite. The end. That's it. That's all he needs.
That's
to
all.
be.
That's all you've got.
That's all you need. That's how it ended, though.
That's the end. Yeah, the cat. I was into it.
Yeah.
I think it was that scene where like it was that weird scene where he woke up behind her and was like cuddling her. That I was like, oh fuck, I'm in. I'm all in. God damn it, I love it.
All in.
I was like, shit. Cut it out. Shit, I love it.
Yeah.
I think there was a discussion on the triggers in the book. Obviously, yeah. So I found it really hard to get through the like child abuse scenes and the sexual assault. Yeah, obviously being a mother now and everything. And I don't know, like some people talked about how on Goodreads there were reviews that talked about the triggers. And then you kind of prepped yourself up for it. You're like, all right, it's going to be really, really bad. It's going to be really graphic. But then because they were pre-warned when they reached the scenes, it's like, oh, yeah, okay. So they felt like it.
I felt a bit like that. I don't know. It's just, I read a lot of adult fantasy now, and a lot of it is quite graphic, quite gruesome. And obviously not being a mother, not being overly into children, it didn't affect me as deeply as I expected it with all the build up as well. Like I expected to be like, oh my god, like this is a lot, like having younger sisters, I guess. But yeah, I mean, surprisingly for me personally, I was just like, okay, I mean, I've read a lot of things, and this is just another thing that I have read that hasn't really got to the root of it. But yeah.
I think like a lot of people at the Sydney meet were saying like they also knew about the triggers, like so they were going into the book forewarned about what kind of content was in there. And a lot of them said like being warned helped because then it didn't impact them as much as it could have. It wasn't wasn't as triggering, which was good.
I think there's definitely a place for trigger warnings and content warnings. I think there should always if it's something like that, I think there is a place for it. I mean, unfortunately, it's not up to like the author, and that's usually who cops. I mean, you guys work in publishing, so you know more.
Yeah, it's usually something that the author does, and it's really good when the author does do it because they know their audience, they know who's going to buy their book, and when she's transitioning, especially Lee, because she's transitioning from YA, where the YA community is very like they're very much for trigger warnings, which is great.
Yeah.
And then like shifting towards a more adult audience, I think it was really good that she did have all those trigger warnings and was like, look, this book does cover this kind of stuff. So just be mindful, that kind of thing, while not like deterring like other adult readers from reading
exactly, because she's bringing a lot of YA readers into that space.
And
I think
it's not YA, please. It's not YA.
Exactly.
I know, exactly.
YA.
But I noticed we had one of our girls who said that she went to a Dimmicks and that the bookseller, who was one of my bosses, was like, "Oh, so you're aware that there's quite graphic content in there?" And he was like mentioning to her as well. And I found it really interesting that that this is a book because, like we said, she's transitioning from YA. Her primary audience is probably YA. That whereas you don't see people picking up Stephen King books being like, "Oh, just so you know, there's a lot of weird content in here," or you're not seeing people picking up the Poppy Wall saying, outside of the book community, like BookTube, Book Twitter, like your everyday readers who aren't in the community don't know. They're just like, oh, Levi Lugo's written
when you
book.
when you pick up a Stephen King, you know what you're going in for. Like, you know what's like he's established himself in a way that like when you pick up his book, it's like you're going to anticipate that kind of stuff.
Even, for example, I think like the Poppy War, like R.F. Kong was like it was like a debut novel. It was a new book, and no one was really talking about there's like a few quite graphic scenes in there, but I didn't hear people selling the book like, oh, just so you know, there's really graphic scenes in this book, be aware, because she wasn't coming from a YA audience kind of thing. And so, like I said, as a bookseller, like half of my people who come in have no idea about trigger warnings, content warnings, book Twitter, BookTube, discourse, anything like that. They're just like, oh, it looks like an interesting book, I'll pick it up. Or I know Levi Lugo, I'll pick it up. So I think that's why the trigger warning conversation is so, I don't know, like it's important and it should be had, but a lot of people are just like, it's a book, I don't really care, sort of
it's
thing.
So interesting. I feel like it's so easy to forget that there still is a world out there that isn't so heavily involved in the online book community and the discussions that happen here, because obviously we're knee deep in it, like pretty much every day. We forget that there's those readers who don't engage and hear about all of these discussions and different issues about triggers and things like that, which is very interesting.
It is interesting because like I said,
definitely.
To ponder.
I like going back to the book. I personally enjoyed what Alex did to Blake.
I told my partner about it and he was horrified, and I was like laughing.
When she has star power and she goes to like take revenge from Mercy.
The shit-eating scene.
And then like, hang on, wait. And then it's like when I'm gonna get the line that Mercy says when after like she does it. Hang on, just bear with me while I find it.
Say something. I think had I been watching that in a movie or something, I would have been quite repulsed. But reading about it, where I could
Okay, this is the line that made me just go, holy shit, this was great. When I was like, when Mercy says, you know how people say two wrongs don't make a right, and Alex says yeah. Mercy pulled Alex's plate towards her and took a huge bite of her remaining cheeseburger and says, they're full of shit. And I was like, yes.
Well, he is literally full of shit.
Literally.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
literally.
I don't know. It was like a really dark enjoyment.
It was such a dark enjoyment.
All the dark, twisty parts of every female was like, yeah.
I was like, this is satisfying. Just like all in one, seeing that.
Gets fed you, yeah.
What, like, I think, like, and also reading that part when she was flicking through his phone and seeing all the videos that he had of other girls, I was just like, my stomach just turned, and I was just like, because that shit actually happens. Like, there are guys out there that do that, and I was just like,
I know. And reading that part was more vomit-inducing than him.
Yeah.
Because it just the horror.
And the fact that Alex,
fury.
And the fact that Alex felt so guilty for not going with Mercy to the party, because she was like, no, yeah, I'll go with you to the party, and then she didn't go. And I was like, I was sitting there thinking, like, imagine if I had done that to my friend and then that happened to her. I would have felt so bad.
Oh God, I would have felt myself.
Horrible. Yeah.
Even though you don't have any, like, you're not at fault, it's still like, but if I was there, maybe it wouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that horrible guilt that we have for nothing that's in our control.
Which can be a whole topic we discuss at another point, because we'll probably be here for like 3 hours discussing that.
Oh God.
So the Sydney group is all women. Is the Brisbane group the same? Do you?
We've got one guy.
But yeah, we've usually got one guy who
Yeah.
comes.
Okay, so did he?
He wasn't there for this one.
Yeah, he wasn't there.
I would really to see his perspective, because we're very clearly coming from a gendered position of we're at risk of this all the time.
Yeah.
So maybe ask him and let us know if he's read it.
Yeah.
I think
are there any boys
it.
out there? Yeah. Are there any men out there who are watching at the moment who had any alternative thoughts? How dare you? Wow. Alex makes rape culture literally eat shit. Thanks, Beck.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Yes.
She went there. She did that.
I agree.
Yeah.
One thing that I remember when all of the trigger warnings were coming out and people were getting mad at Lee is I feel like I read somewhere that Lee said this was a very cathartic experience for her. I mean, it's not necessarily saying that these exact things happened to her, but it obviously, I think people were really aggressively shitting on the way that she wrote things like the child abuse things. Shut up, I'm getting to a deep point here.
Okay. We'll get there.
I always find it really interesting when people can't separate the author from their work.
Mm.
Like, it happens with so many authors, like they create a character that is a racist or is a homophobe, and look, it's not to say some authors don't remedy that and they don't see the growth and like that's just the character, but I mean those people exist. That's also a thing. But I just find it's always I mean I personally get offended for authors that I don't know when people are like, your character did this or your character thinks like this or you wrote it like this, you must be a shit person. For some reason it blows my mind. Like it
I know. This is fiction.
Specific examples I can get to, but you know, I have a life outside of Nevernight. But
do you? I don't think you do.
Really?
No.
Really?
No.
Yeah, because there's a difference of like racist overtones throughout the entire book, and obviously that's the author's thoughts coming into it, versus a racist character who's obviously in the wrong and a shitty person, shitty character.
I need to get like they see, like for example, all I can think of the top of my head is like Serpent and Dove recently. Like the main character in that has been brought up to hate this specific witches, essentially, which we're not going to say is a race of people, but you know, brought up that's all they know. And so when that's challenged and they either grow with it and learn, which is what we all hope for, because we're like, that's a positive, I guess, representation of how we want the world to be. But then there will always be those characters who don't. Just as the same as there's always going to be those people who don't. And I think there's a real injustice to not showing both sides of that coin, because then you go into the world expecting everyone to be something that they're not. And it's it's shitty that people like that do exist and haven't evolved. But, I mean, that's also just a thing. And you can't,
and you can't force people to change. Like, you just got to...
You got to be better within yourself, man. You know?
Within yourself.
Mentally make them eat shit. Mentally make them eat shit.
And it's funny because a lot of these discussions are part of the YA community, but not part of the greater book community.
Or even like the real book reader community. Like like I said earlier.
Because the thing is, I think that I feel like the YA community talk a lot more. Like people outside of YA don't necessarily engage in discourse like online. I feel like it's more verbal, and it's never like documented anywhere, so we can never really see it.
No receipt.
I use the word online, and I was like, because I was going to say book clubs have always existed, but it's a localized community.
But they're not original.
Yeah.
I know we are not original. I can't.
Oh no.
The internet has been a great unifying.
Can't trademark book clubs.
In that it has translated those conversations to a wider space. So
Yeah.
Definitely agree with what you're saying about those conversations. I didn't have any of those conversations till I joined Twitter. So
book Twitter cesspool, but also I've learned so much from there.
I know.
I've learned a lot from book Twitter as well. Like, I mean, there have been things there that I'm like, yeah.
Sometimes you get feminism, sometimes you get soap dick.
There you go.
I know which one I'm here for.
Not surprised.
Clearly feminism, obviously.
That's enough, Pierre. We don't need to know.
Let's just chill out here.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
So back to 9 pals.
We keep it
Railing.
But we all agreed we liked it, so we're like, everyone probably knows why we liked it. So the end. Let's talk about real hidden issues. Dick's made of soap.
I actually
don't insert the soap, as they said.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. They said it.
I legit thought it was a dildo when I first saw it.
Man.
There you go. Is that company still around? Anyway.
I have no idea. Anyway.
That's an offline discussion. We'll talk about that later.
Ninth house. Come on.
So Cosmo, who was feeding the cat while Darlington was MIA? Is he a magic cat? I want him to be a magic cat. He's probably just a cat version. No, I think he's a normal cat. I think he's just a normal cat. But I just project magical abilities to every cat I find.
Yeah. Did you guys predict the twist at the end with Daisy?
No, but I hated it. I didn't like it.
No, but you hated it.
Weird, and I was
It's been a couple of months since I read it. Remind me.
When you know how like what's his name?
Teacher?
Professor.
Yeah, so like the bridegroom was trying to like find Daisy, and like his fiance that people think he killed. Then it turns out she's just been inhabiting the body of the teacher.
She's just eating souls.
She's been eating the souls of girls to stay alive.
That's right.
Yeah, and Sandow is just like, cool.
Yeah.
I liked it because I didn't predict it, but as soon as we found out, you realized in retrospect that the clues were there.
Yeah, definitely saw her being, And that first meeting that we had, that teacher, I was like, shady bitch is up to something. Didn't know what. But then when it was revealed what it was, I was like,
Oh yeah, there was that kind of, there was the stuff in the window. There was the fact that Alex always felt at peace in the things of the wards. I really like that in a book because I mean, first of all, a lot of books follow the same sort of story patterns. There's that old thing about how there's only 6 stories and they're just recycled. Every story is influenced by the stories that came before. And so we're all going to find some things predictable, whether they're intended to be or not. So something like this, where the revelation came and it wasn't just, we've just decided to do this to shock everyone, not to throw shade on some major movie franchises, but it was well done. And like, I think Lee is very, very good at that. I mean, it's been a while since I've read Six of Crows, but I'm fairly certain she did a similar thing in there as well.
Yeah.
I think I was still low-key mad at Lee Bardugo for the end of King of Scars.
I haven't read that one
yet.
I'm
so mad.
Don't you
Still
I was
haven't
like, what
finished
have
the
you
Kingdom.
done?
Yeah, I'm bitter. Anyway, it's fine. What I really liked about that twist at the ending with Daisy was when she was kind of like, you know how they always do a thing where they kind of just say, "This is why I did it," and I'm like, yeah, okay, the villain monologue, but
Baby.
But but Alex is when she says like, you can't turn this into a feminist manifesto, when she was basically killing girls. Yeah, like she's like, you can't kill girls of color to eat just so you can stay alive. And I'm like, yes, I appreciate
How
it.
very Get Out of her. You ever watched Get Out, the movie?
Yeah, that was a good film. I liked that film.
Great film, but premise, whoa. So, no, I agree,
Yeah,
Can't
very much
keep
like that.
eating women. God damn it.
I freaking love the Hellhounds. Oh my gosh, that scene was so excellent.
And they saved her. I was like,
Oh,
puppy.
So good.
Oh yes.
Puppies.
I like it. Jean's gone straight for the dogs. I've gone straight for the cats.
Yeah.
We are.
I feel like it's very on brand for you
so
too.
on brand.
Yeah.
See, the guy has the best of both worlds.
Wait till there's emus. Oof, then it's just going to be me championing the book for like whatever reason. Shit book, but I'm like, emus.
Wow, yeah.
Look, I'm just here for doors and the food. That's all I want. If I could live with her and have her cook me dinner every night.
Dawes is the real MVP. She's out here doing the
Dawes, I love her.
underachiever that's literally achieving everything and like just giving full credit to the main characters.
Yeah.
I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she became one of my favorites at the very end.
Oh,
She was
yeah.
one of my
What
favorites.
did she look like? I don't remember what she looked like or her description of how she looked.
Let me see if I can find
I
it.
related to her a lot. Just this whole sense of hiding away in the library, doing
Yeah.
her research and not knowing how
I don't
to
know
talk
why,
to
but
people.
I thought she was ginger, but maybe that's just me.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's ginger.
Oh wow, I had a very different picture in my
What
head.
was in your head?
Is she white?
I think so.
Yeah.
Definitely did not pick that. I imagined her like there's this beautiful artwork somewhere on the internet that I'll try and find of this. It's like a witch, like a beautiful young witch with her like messy hair and like pens sticking in her hair, and there's like like your stereotypical like cute librarian look, and it just reminded me of her. So in my head, that's Dawes.
Bless. I love
Yeah.
her.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sad Alex's tattoos went away for a while. I was like, oh my god, a tattooed main character, relatable. And then they were gone. I was like,
And then you're like, why can't that happen to me?
I know. I was like, get rid of mine
So
too.
easily.
Like, think of all the acting roles I could achieve if my tattoos could go and then come back.
It's funny that Darlington isn't in the book a lot.
But we love him so much.
I know,
Yeah.
like halfway through he
Our
goes,
standards are so low.
and it's like, what
He's
is
like, not even there.
Did anyone else expect that he would be coming back later on? And it just sort of went on a tangent.
Like you can't add chapters of Darlington and then just kill him. Like you can't do that.
I can't believe he was like, when you
say
say
that,
I was like, what?
But it's me.
I was
Yeah.
expecting that he wouldn't come back. I was fully expecting that that's the route she was going to go.
Mm.
Wait, I'm so
But
confused.
like, isn't
Alex
even himself though?
kill Darlington, or did she push him into the?
No.
No.
It just
do anything to
swallows
save
him.
him.
She couldn't.
Oh,
Yeah,
she didn't do anything to save him. Right, that's what I was
No.
saying.
And I think it was very much she was frozen in fear, and she was frozen
yeah,
in fear because she just found out that she'd murdered the people
Those
she was
guys.
found.
Yeah.
Like
Okay,
even though it was her. So there was this like she didn't help him, but she didn't actively.
I love those characters. I don't know why. Like it happened in the book that I just finished reading as well. Like it's those weird, like those morally grey characters who are like their code is like I only look out for myself, won't do anything to help other people, but then they fall in love with someone else. And then there's that moment where they're scared, so they run, and then they're like, I should come back.
Well, it's also
A little
kind
bit
of like, if I was in that situation, I don't know. I feel like I'd probably be one of those people who would just
you don't
be
want to
like,
get swallowed
frozen in
either.
fear. Like I probably am that type of person, so I always find those characters really interesting because it's like I feel like I've not really been in a situation like it, obviously, but
You've never
theoretically,
seen a
I feel
friend
like
swallowed by a giant dark hole?
No, can you believe it?
You're living the wrong sort of life, honey. So I'm always like, I'd want to be the one who like Sparta kicks someone directly into the hole and be like, fuck you. But then I'd also probably be like, what are you doing? Where are you going? Don't do that. Stop being swallowed.
This is like when I went to the shopping center with Amelia, and she was all of a sudden like, you know, I was that parent with the screaming child, and I was like,
Oh no.
she's normally isn't like that.
That's what every mother ever is thinking.
I
The kid
know.
screams.
I know.
Yeah. That's so fucked.
So now I know I'm that type of person for sure.
That was such an evil laugh, Sophia.
You should hear me at work. It's pretty bad. I just
I love it. Can we record it?
Oh man.
Oh, so good.
Also, yay for like bisexual rep. Super pumped by that.
Yeah.
That was
fan.
really good.
Big fan.
Big fan.
That's my
Man,
bar
baby.
now. That's my bar now these days. I was like,
That's your
heterosexual
bar.
relationships, over it. Give me them gays. Give me them half gays. Give me them whatever the fuck I am. Like, yay. I'm a big fan of that.
Don't you ship Mia and Trick
Yes, I do, but that's because Trick is a soft boy who needs to be protected. And Ash scares me a little bit. So, I mean, there's that.
That's part of the appeal.
Okay, but in my dream world, hear me out, okay? Because I apparently can't go a day without talking about Nevernight. Fuck you. If I get to make it a TV show and I get to play Mia, guess who my first pick for Ash is? Just guess. Just like actually take a guess.
Okay.
The girl from Game of
If I have full control, I'm like Saoirse Ronan is my Ash, so I can literally have sex with her all day. And then we fall in love. And I like either leave Jacob or like Jacob just accepts it, and we're all in like this polyamorous relationship and I'm living my best life. That's what got me through my surgery the other night. I was like, but what if I have both? And then
I thought you were saying Victor was helping you through.
Also, yeah, that too, but like fucking Saoirse Ronan is like top of my list. Sorry, so candid. Anyway,
I get
I'm a
it.
survivor, leave me alone. Watch me milk this for a long time.
So one thing we haven't actually discussed somehow is the ghosts, the graves.
Not important.
Greys. I really liked that part. I liked
That's
the concept of the greys. I know Pierre hates ghosts, so you can just
it's only because I see them, Sophia. I see enough of them in my life.
Don't be so dramatic.
Low-key kidding.
No, I'm not always a ghost.
Huh?
Nothing.
I missed all of that.
Continue, Els.
Let Els talk about ghosts. Let Els talk.
Okay, all right.
I don't have much to say about ghosts. I don't always like them, but like I like them if they're done well, and I think she did them really well, especially because there was a very clear
Rules to them.
yes. That's the word I'm looking for. There were rules to them, there was a structure, and there was a cause behind it. So it wasn't just, oh, by the way, here are some ghosts, and we see them and we don't see them, and they're there. It was, they're here because of these reasons. They are suffering or whatever it is. And there were rules as well for Alex, so she couldn't look at them, she couldn't acknowledge them. Because if not,
I did like that actually, yeah.
I thought that was a really interesting
Otherwise, they
take.
become attached.
yes, it was really well constructed as a part of the worlds and the story.
Yeah. I do also like the fact that Alex could see them in color, whereas everyone else only saw them in as like grey. Like as greys. And then the scene with Helly when she sees, like, she wakes up and it's Helly's body and she thinks Helly's alive.
Oh my god!
But it's actually her ghost.
That was
and you're
so
like,
painful.
I love
and I was
that.
like,
I loved
like-
when she uses other ghost people.
oh
Like when
yeah, and then
Helly
Helly
went
like
into
possesses her.
Yeah, when the bridegroom possessed her, I was like,
And that's why that's why like when she kills everybody, it's like with her left hand because Helly's left-handed, and it's just like
I loved
that
it.
was-
I love
really
little things
good.
like that.
Oh, that was
so intense. That was
really
so intense. Yeah. Anyway, I enjoyed that. There's a lot of things I enjoyed about the book. Yeah.
Mm.
Oh,
I think I like it more after I let it sit after a while. Yeah. And you think about the characters, you're like, I actually quite like that. Yeah.
And also probably have a bit of separation from the really intense content as well. It's like, let that dampen and then appreciate the discourse around it.
Exactly. Because while I was reading it, I was like, whoa, I need to put this book down. And I think I was so affected by it that I couldn't appreciate the rest of it. But yeah. No, I
Do you
like
think
how
you would have been affected pre-baby? Because you know, like not much really phases you either. So I was surprised when you were like, oh yeah, this was really heavy for me. So I was like, oh, was that just you have a baby or just
except if dogs are killed?
Oh yeah.
yes,
No dog.
In
No
every
dog.
single book we managed to pick last year.
Well, from now on, we'll just read Victoria Schwab books because then she just brings them back.
Yes.
Her dogs don't die.
Dogs. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I definitely think it would have affected me more if I hadn't been desensitized by the book that shall not be named, aka Black Leopard, Red Wolf. After that, I was just like, whatever.
I can read anything now.
Oh,
Yeah, I can read anything. Anything.
I
else.
haven't finished
Anything
it.
after
I
that.
Don't do it. Don't finish it. It's not worth it.
I don't even know where I put.
But then I read the Puppy War, and I was really affected by the Puppy War.
Wait,
Oh,
were
really?
you really affected by the puppy war?
I loved
that-
it.
Oh yeah,
That big
I
chapter.
had to put it down
I
and walk
actually-
away.
I actually read that book when I was pregnant, and I was like, "Whoa!"
I remember you reading
Jean!
that.
Oh my gosh, what is wrong with me?
Could have been out.
All right. If anyone gets pregnant, do not watch Bad Box on Netflix.
Oh
So
my
what's the
I
god.
next
watched it anyway, but okay.
I watched it in general.
Just saying. All right, okay. Because I've seen some.
Oh
stuff.
yeah. I was like, what part of bird? But oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway. Anything else?
So
we want
Darlington.
to- Everyone else? Anything else aside from Darlington we want to discuss?
Look for the next one.
Book for the month for next month is.
The Starless Sea.
Woo!
So
My
excited.
copy's not here.
I don't know.
Look how beautiful it is. Oh my gosh.
I was hoping
I
to
just-
have it by now, but unfortunately do not. But I will have some signed copies to give away. So one of these will go up on our Instagram, hopefully in the next week. So keep an eye out on that. I'm not sure if it's this cover. I can't remember if it's the US or the UK publisher who's sending it. Do you know, Sophia?
It'll be the UK one, so it'll be that one.
Okay, so yeah. Is it hardcover?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Can't confirm.
So, yeah.
Have to confirm with Caitlin. Yeah.
Okay.
Follow us
That's
on
all
our
good.
Instagram and Twitter to go into
Yeah.
the draw to win.
Signed.
Signed copy.
At the name of the book.
Yes.
Yes, the name of the book? The name of the book?
Wait,
And
is
the
it-
name of the
What is our handle?
Just go to one of
What is
our
the name of the
podcasts
book?
and you'll see it.
we'll repost it everywhere. If
There you go.
yeah, hopefully you know what our book club's called.
Oh my god, it's only been like nearly 2 years.
Oh my god, I can't believe it. We'll have our second anniversary.
Yay!
This is like the most committed I've been to anything, and that really says anything.
What?
The YAB is replacing the YA snake. Touche.
YAB. Yes. I love
What else is the
YAB
B on?
better than
Buzz,
YA
buzz.
Snake.
This one.
Yeah,
What's
what
the
else?
B on? What else is it on?
Isn't it on Muse of Nightmares?
It's a moth.
Yeah, it is
That's
on
a
Muse of
moth.
Night. No.
Oh no,
it is
Stranger
on-
Dreamer. Yes.
Strange the Dreamer has a
Moth.
moth.
Yeah,
It's a moth.
the second one's a bird.
Mm.
Yeah.
Unless we're talking about, is the US one any different? No. I can tell.
Should I just Google this? I'm just gonna Google it.
I've got my copy right here.
Sarah, what was that book you read the other day that
Moth
you
or bird?
Seven Blades in Black by Sam Sykes. I don't think you'll like it. Nah, you might actually like it.
Okay.
It might get you. I think you'll like the characters more than you'll like the actual story, but I think it'll be
Yeah,
good.
our recommending books to Els is like I don't even know what's gonna happen.
Plus, read Red Rising. You'll love it.
You're rising. Your favorite.
I saw that you were selling them, weren't you?
I did, and
Yeah.
I sold them. So I hope that because I am getting rid of some books, I'm hoping that the person who bought them will really enjoy them, at least because
It was me, and I'm going to send them back to you. Like, read
so
these
you're paying
books.
postage twice. Plus the price of the books. That's
I do it
dedication.
for you. No, I
That
have
is
my
dedication.
They're good books.
Okay.
Blah, blah,
Moving
blah.
on.
Right, but apart from that, what's everyone reading at the moment? Kaz, what are you reading at the moment? Cool. Jane, what are you reading at the moment?
I'm reading The Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang.
Oh.
So good.
That's so good.
I put
Can
it
you
off
please
for
let me know when you get to like the twists at the end? Just
All
let me
right.
know. Just I need someone to scream about it with.
Oh, far out. It's so good. Like on audiobook, oh my gosh. I just switch between audio and physical. Oh,
Yeah,
love
I do the
it.
same.
Oh, that's a
Loving
good idea.
it.
Because I'm
Yeah.
going to be reading Poppy War this month, so I
Yeah.
might like.
Woo!
Yes.
Exactly.
Exciting.
Is that
Sorry?
part of your Turn Topple TBR?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I've got 4 books that are over 500 pages. Most of them are closer to like 700 plus. So who knows if that's actually going to happen?
Look, Poppy
Just
Walker.
read Poppy War.
Yes.
Yes. Just read Poppy War.
forget everything else.
Okay.
I'm not quite.
Els is being attacked by her cat.
Oh, kitty. Kitty. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Rochelle, what are you reading?
So I finished my book this morning. So I just started. I read one chapter of The Invisible Library by Genevieve Cogman.
Oh, yeah.
And then my audiobook at the moment is The Daughters of the Storm by Kim Wilkins.
I like that.
Yeah, I heard your recommendation, Jean. So
Yes.
I'll be talking to you about that soon.
Sweet. All right. Then we can buddy read the next two.
Let's do it.
Yes.
What about you? What are you reading?
I just finished the Song of the Crimson Flower by Julie Dow. And it was really good. I loved it so much. It was such a great little like YA Vietnamese fantasy.
Yes.
It hit me in all the places that I love, and I was like, "Wow!" What else? But I'm torn between either reading The Dragon Republic.
Do it.
Like but I also want to read Gideon. I also want to read Gideon the Ninth.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I have that.
Dragon Republic over Gideon. I didn't like Gideon until I finished it and sat on it for a few days and had an idea of what was going on, because it does not tell you what is going on. There is no point where any of it makes sense, but the slow burn is literally all I cared about.
Okay. I don't, because I was just like, what do I want to do? Might do that. Yeah, I might actually just do Dragon Republic, but I have to reread. I think I have to reread the Poppy War or read a recap because I can't remember what happened really.
I don't know. Like, I guess I reread the Poppy War beforehand, but you know, like, she's such a good storyteller that when you're reading it, you just fall straight back in, and you're like,
okay.
And she like recaps bits. Yeah.
Oh, good.
All right.
It's so good.
Els,
right.
what you reading?
I'm reading something that I will not name because I'm actually reading it for the Aurealis Awards. I'm not really enjoying it because I've read some really good books for that. But what I am also doing is I'm rereading via audiobook the Artemis Fowl books, which
fun.
And I'm really enjoying it because it's one of those things where rereading them as an adult, and it's been quite a few years since I read them, I'm picking up on all the things that I loved in the first place. But one of the really big things about these books that I love is that it doesn't patronize young people. Like, the main character is this 12-year-old criminal genius, and there's a lot of really good words. They're not necessarily words that a 12-year-old would know, but it never patronizes. It never goes, and this word means this, and we're going to dumb this down for the audience. So reading that, 13, 14, I loved it because I was a very pretentious teenager. Now I'm very pretentious. So there's a lot of things in this book that have informed my own vocabulary and have informed the sort of things I looked for in books. But also it's just really fun because I remember half of what happens and I don't remember the other half. So every now and then something happens and I go, oh, I've got this. Okay. So that's quite fun.
Oh, good. I remember what I'm reading.
What are you reading?
I'm still doing my reread of Dark Dawn. I haven't been reading.
Sierra's face.
I have a life outside of Nevernight.
It's taken me 2 months. I've just in general not been reading, but I did also recently start listening to the audiobook of Becoming by Michelle Obama, which I'm really enjoying.
Oh, yes.
I thought that book was literally called Becoming Michelle Obama. And it was like how to be successful like Michelle Obama.
How to be Michelle Obama.
Yeah. I was like, Becoming Michelle Obama.
Yeah.
But I think that was kind of a play on the title.
Yeah. Probably, yeah.
Thank you, Sophia. I did manage to figure that out eventually.
Okay, just let me
know. After a really long time.
I think I'm going to like Poppy War. I hope I do, because I also ordered myself that Illumicrate special edition of Dragon Republic. So I invested a lot of money.
How much money did you spend?
If you don't want it.
It's signed to Kaz.
I don't care. Just make the C a P, and it's just a joint. It's a Kaz book.
Perfect.
Kaz.
Kaz book.
There you go. We had someone ask if Piera's okay because seeing
Yeah,
you
she's
in
fine.
hospital. Yeah, you can tell. Just ask her about Never Night. She'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's happening again.
No,
No.
Don't do that to me, Piera. Don't do that.
No,
don't.
I'm okay-ish. I will be getting better. I had a heart attack for people who didn't know. I mean, like, it's weird to say I had a heart attack because I'm not 50. But I'm gonna make like a little video on it, more about like awareness than actually like story time. Had a heart attack at 26, but more because I didn't realize how common it is for young women.
Yeah.
And
was really...
I didn't know that that's what it was. So now that I know more, I feel like lots of people would probably benefit from hopefully hearing more about it, especially like I sent it to you guys as soon as it happened. I was like, hey, you're all young women, be aware of these symptoms because you could die too.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it takes more than a fucking heart attack to kill me. Huh?
Yeah. I was talking to my brother-in-law last night who's a doctor, and I was telling him about what happened to you, and he was just like, oh geez, she is lucky to be alive. And I'm like,
Oh god.
you're not helping me. Anxiety.
I remember laying on my couch being like, am I just being a little bitch or am I about to die? And then I felt my arm going, and that's like all the signs I've heard of a heart attack. But I'm like, I'm 25, I'm 26. I'm like, I'm not having a heart attack. And then within the ambulance getting there within like 5 minutes, they're like, if you had waited any longer, you would have gone into heart failure and died. And I was like,
I mean, a big problem is that when you look at heart attacks on TV and stuff, they're always men. And women often have different symptoms.
Yeah,
but then
young women either.
They're not known.
Yeah. So I will when I'm feeling like, even honestly, this last hour has taken it out of me. I'm gonna go have a sleep. But when I'm feeling a bit better, I'm gonna make like a little video just kind of about what happened, but also what to watch for and how to. I mean, you can't avoid it essentially, but how to kind of if it is happening to you, kind of what to know about it. So thank you for asking. I will be okay. I'm not okay now, but I will be okay.
While we're on the topic, Jean, health update.
Health update, Jane. How's everyone doing?
I'm feeling a lot better, but yeah, same thing. Like when I was really, really sick, I had to call the ambulance because I just like I had vertigo and I couldn't walk pretty much, and I just collapsed on the ground. And I've got my baby seated and my dog's like anxious because I'm sick, and I was just constantly vomiting. But if you sense that there's something going on with you, do not hesitate to call the ambulance because that's what they're there for. But I'm doing a lot better this week. I've stopped vomiting after 6 weeks. Oh my gosh.
I saw that. I was like, being done vomiting, I'm going to upstage her.
6 weeks of vomiting. I lost 7 kilos. Oh, far out.
I didn't lose a single fucking kilo in hospital.
You're alive. You're alive. That's the main thing. But I do have like an endoscopy or whatever, where they stick a camera down your stomach in a few minutes. Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
So yeah, but I'm just happy. I don't know. Just Piera would know, but going through an experience like that just puts everything in perspective. Like you just feel so grateful that you can be home with your kids and your baby or your dog or whatever, a snake or whatever.
I remember like laying on the floor, like looking up thinking I'm gonna die. I saw Death, by the way, real cute. But I remember there's this quote, and Elsa's gonna hate me, from Red Rising, where it's literally like I don't remember it, but it's like death isn't scary when you've tried to find it before. And I thought that was really weirdly interesting because I was like, having attempted suicide before, because I'm an attention seeker who talks about it openly for attention.
Same.
I was like, I'm not afraid to die. I found I'm more afraid of being alive and not in control of my body, which I know obviously people with physical disabilities and chronic pain and stuff, that's what they go through every day. And having never had a health issue in my life, apart from like depression and mental health, that's what I think is going to take the hardest thing to adjust to. Like not having control over my own body it's hard.
Yeah, I actually had a similar thing in, when I was lying on the floor, like couldn't get up, couldn't move. And I just looked at my baby, like she was actually facing the other way and she was safe in the high chair. But I was like, I've done the absolute best that I can. And if this is it, I'm really, really glad.
Oh my God.
Sorry. But after that, I'm like, yep, I'm glad every day to be able to be looking after her.
Jane.
We were talking about ghosts and darlings.
Sorry.
Well, to lighten the mood, to make everyone feel better, my cat Aries started attacking everyone who wasn't me while I was gone. So he went after Jacob. He went after Jacob's mum. He went after our friend. And he's like, that's how you know something is wrong with him, because like he's usually just like, I avoid everyone and I'm super placid, and he went to people, and now they haven't left my side. They're constantly, he's over here. They will not leave me alone. So that's better, right?
That's amazing.
Happy note.
Alright.
When you literally look death in the face, it's a really weird experience, and it sounds really dramatic to say that. Like a week ago, if I'd heard someone say that, I'd be like, all right, honey, let's just calm down. But now having people, every time someone comes to me and they're like, you have had a heart attack, I'm like, okay. It's weird. It's weird. And I don't know how to talk about it without it sounding real weird. So it's just going to be a weird period of me having no fucking clue what's going on.
Yeah. It's been a rough year for name of the book club.
It's been a rough month for Brisbane.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Sydney, you're next. Just kidding. Rochelle, we need to bubble wrap. That's what we decided to do.
Too late, babe. You're too late. It's far too late.
Oh.
All right, well, we'll end this live show before we all start crying.
Sorry.
I mean, one question I do want to ask everyone before we wrap up. If you were in a house, in Knight's house, which house would you go?
The one with the cat? A cat house?
I don't know about. I don't know.
Is what you're saying.
I'm essentially doors.
You're doors.
So whatever she is. I'm doors, but I hate that. I hate it. So Els and I are like a culmination of doors. I'm the hermit side. Els is literally every other part. I'm the hermit.
I don't know which house I would be. I feel like I would probably be either Aurelian or...
Yeah, that's what I'm leaning towards.
I feel like I'm going to be that one. That's me.
Yeah.
Well, can you go through them again for me who doesn't have
Aurelian
yeah. Okay, sure.
Logomancy, which is word binding and divination through language. St. Elmo's is elemental magic, storm calling. Basilius, none, can't find anything, blah, blah, blah. Skull and Bones, that is divination using human and animal entrails.
Nope. Jane, that's you.
She's horrified.
Oh my god.
Scroll and Key is portal magic, so astral and etheric projection. Book and Snake is necromancy and bone conjuring. Wolf's Head is therianthropy. That's all it says. Yeah. Yeah. And then manuscript is mirror magic and glamours.
Yeah, I'd probably go that one with the, what did I say?
Aurelian?
You said elemental and I'm torn between Aurelian and St. Elmo's as well.
I am essentially the avatar. That's all I'm going for. I just
you are the avatar. Yes.
Avatar.
No, I'm definitely the first one with the word and the language.
Yeah.
I'm tempted by the portal magic one as well, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or mirror magic and glamours. She's Aurelian. I think that's the given.
She's Aurelian. Yeah, you are Aurelian. 100%.
Word magic?
She's just Yale. Like, she's just the entire school. She's just the school.
She is Yale. She is Yale. Yeah.
Buildings, pretend book. Yeah, I get it.
Rip off Mal's I am become a blade tattoo with I am become a Yale.
I am become a blade. Fuck.
It's so bad. I'm so interested to see how they handle that at the show.
I would literally just scream with laughter if they freaking quote it word for word. I'll just die. I think I'll just die.
Anyway, we'll see you next month for Starless Sea.
Yes.
Thanks, guys. Everyone stay healthy.
Yes. Next
Yes.
week is going to be our last for the year, by the way. So November is the final one. Then we'll probably reconvene at the end of February. So December, January, holidays. Bye.
Bye.